And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the eSports show where the hosts are sassy and the points don't matter. My name is Matthew Judge Brand, and this week, yet again, I'm joined on the desk by Terry Badger O'Neill, our resident League of Legends fanboy and eSports expert, as well as Lewis T-Ball Gratz on the end, Rocket League analyst, glasses extraordinaire, and he is bringing us some great content pieces this week as well.
Yeah, just a little bit. Put a bit of time into some nice, exciting things for you people.
Just some visuals. We'll get right into it though. We'll start off with the LCS World Cup recap. Lewis, this is yours, my friend.
Certainly is. So, yeah, hopefully we've got this nice little tape up. So, LCS was this weekend, which for those that don't know, Rocket League Championship Series. Rocket League Championship Series is the fourth iteration. Top 4 teams from NA and EU, plus the top 2 from OCE. You can see it was an absolute blast for a packed stadium there. I took a bit of a risk by having the crowd so close to the analyst desk, but it really did provide some fantastic things. We also had Yummy Cheese Man there, OCE's resident analyst. He got on the casting desk as well. But we saw Lee Fex in the background too on some of those.
We did.
Creeping there. Here's Pale Horse, the first OCE team that will cover. It was their first event. They got taken down 3-0 in their first match by PSG. This was a different match, but you can see they were very happy when they won.
And who was that win against, Tibor?
I'm not sure. They were very happy nonetheless. And they also went down 3-0 to Mocket. They never really got their footings down. They didn't have mechanical issues. It was more they couldn't keep up with the pace.
Right.
They were playing Europe as well, which is a bit quicker. And they just never could do it. They were ball chasing a little bit, double committing. And Chiefs here, they were OC's main hope. They played G2 first. And that went really well for a long time. They won the first game. As you can see, they were in the lead here in the third. Well, they took the third game as well. But G2 did come back eventually. This shot from Jake was insane, just reading that redirect off the curb of the roof. Lost to G2, had to face off against NRG, crowd favourite obviously, being in Washington, Washington DC. And the Chiefs started off once again really strong. Beautiful passing plays by the team. This one, supreme. They just sliced up the middle of the field, right up the guts. And
oh, wow.
Drippe just securing that one. It was huge. And they actually took out NRG, NA's third seed.
Damn. So good work coming out of the Chiefs there, proving some people wrong as well who think OC don't even deserve a slot at Worlds.
Yeah, well, Chiefs actually, people thought G2 was going to be their best shot, but they took out NRG. Faced off against Cloud9. Now, these Cloud9 eventually came third. Chiefs did really well. Here they were about to force a game 5, but with 7 seconds to go, Cloud9 forced an overtime, and unfortunately it didn't go too well. Straight off the kickoff, Cloud9 get it down their offense. Nice little pass play there.
Well done.
Cloud9 though, even though they didn't win, one of the players, Squishy Muffins, got Player of the Day. Now that doesn't happen too often. They even came third. But yeah, you can see the Chiefs' disappointment there. They were actually really close on that. But right here, this was the goal of the tournament and possibly the goal, like the best goal ever. Now we've seen the delayed roof shot, but this was next level. He's held on for so long here and completely faked out everyone. Look, this is where he rotates now.
Oh my God.
Uses his boost 2-0, and it was absolutely incredible. Everyone just lost their minds, which was well deserved. And here's Squishy as well, 3 saves in a row. It was absolutely insane, but Method took that match out. They went on to the grand final for a rematch against Gale Force. It went to 7 in that in the winners bracket final. But Gale Force, it was 4 close games. As you can see, 6-minute overtime here in game 4. It was still an intense series, even though it was a sweep. Gale Force take it out. And Turbo Pulsar was the first ever 2-time RLC champion, or RLCS champion, as he won it last year with Northern Gaming. And 2-time MVP as well.
Unbelievable work coming out from him. And we're seeing a lot better play come out at this LCS, in my opinion, than in the last as well. Teams, as time progresses and we're getting this stability on the world stage, these teams are really performing well and they're leveling up. They're constantly finding new ways to improvise, adapt and overcome. Yeah,
certainly right. And it was the first time that NA actually ended up with 2 teams in the top 4.
Right.
Yeah, and they were the 2 teams that beat the Chiefs.
Right.
Cloud9 and G2. And so the Chiefs doing really well against them. It just goes to show how good they did.
And well done, of course, to our friends at Pale Horse and Chiefs. They represented the region proudly and did it well, and we're happy for them with the results they got. It would be good to see them continue striving like they do and push forward for better results in the future. And of course, congratulations to the winners over in Gale Force. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, certainly right.
Coming off the back of that on RLCS, we have had E-League announce that they're making a venture into Rocket League. Tell us more about that.
Absolutely huge tournament coming out about that. Can't remember.
And Steve's in the back laughing at Lewis now. I do know for a fact E-League have
Where's
dropped...
my notes?
Where are your notes? Oh God, Lewis.
I don't know, I've got millions of them.
So E-League have dropped the announcement that they are going to be diving into Rocket League.
Yeah, just before Christmas.
Just before Christmas. It's not a long league at all. It's only a 3-date event, I'm pretty sure, as well, with invited teams. So going off of E-League style, they do a lot of events like this, and they're inviting teams from the top of RLCS to come and compete in their competition. And for more details, you can head to the link that we'll provide in the VOD, but we're not sophisticated enough to have them in the Twitch chat yet, so we'll get there eventually.
Yeah. And E-League do a lot of really good tournaments. They've been doing, was it Injustice as well?
They have.
They were even advertising that on baseball, on regular sports, like during the World Series.
On baseball as well?
Yeah.
Damn. So
playoffs.
Well done to E-League. Thank you so much for supporting the Rocket League scene, and we'll keep up to date with how that whole event pans out. Looking back home on home soil, it's the StarCraft 2 resurgence. We're seeing Blizzard make a push for it as it comes back to OCE.
Yes, certainly right. Big announcement here from, well, Blizzard. 5 teams into this league format. You've got Legacy, SYF, they're the 2 sort of main names there. You do have IF Pro. Downfall, I haven't heard of IF Pro before, or OC Elite. Have you guys?
No. OSC Elite, no, I have no. Downfall, I do, and I actually
I've
know
heard of
Jamie Beresford, or Ice, who plays for Downfall.
Yeah.
He's been a long-standing member of the StarCraft community for some time now, so he will be competing under Downfall as far as I'm aware. But SYF and Legacy, long stays in terms of the Oceanic eSports community. Legacy having 5 players on their roster for this.
And the biggest shock was that T-Gun has been spotted on the lineup for Legacy.
He has. So for those of you that aren't aware, T-Gun actually, prior to being a League of Legends pro, was a StarCraft pro. So he's come full circle, I guess you could say, and gone back to his StarCraft roots, and he will be competing under Legacy's banner in this. So good to have some old blood wisdom coming in for Legacy, some of the younger blood coming through, and of course Probe, being a really good Protoss player, playing for Legacy. He's one of the stars of the region. Expecting Legacy to do very well in this upcoming competition.
Yep, and it does start on, what was it, the 21st. So it's really soon as starting. It will finish before Christmas as well. So if you're a StarCraft 2 fan, definitely get onto that link that was there. I think it was Blizz_ANZ for Twitch.
Pretty sure. WPGI happened as well in the last week, and you watched a considerable amount of it, and you've even got a highlights reel for us.
Well, I did. Well, I watched what I could. I was at work during the actual match, but I got to watch some of the clips there.
You did. Let's have a look at what you got for us here, Lewis.
All right,
Tell us about WPGI.
Yeah, so it started off a bit slow. There was about 4 to 5 hours of delay, unfortunately for them. But when it did get underway, they did finish it with no issues. So unlike season 1, which they got 1.5 matches done, they had to finish it online. There we go. That's why I couldn't really watch it. I understand the sentiment. And then the obligatory...
needs more dab.
Yeah, needs more
dab.
Dabbing, more dabbing.
Yeah.
Lots more. Eventually, some CSGO did break out here.
Oh, it did?
It did.
Good.
Yep.
And how did the ladies go?
How the lady goes? Hope from Control here, spelled EPO for ease.
Yeah.
Definitely pulled off an ace here. So it was showing Control was on fire to start things off, and they took out Athletico. They moved into the Grand Finals as well. The 4 teams, Kings, Control, Athletico, and Darksided. Yeah, so Control made it there, Kings made it there as well. Atletico and Darksided unfortunately couldn't get there. Here's some vision of the Kings. But yeah, everyone's having fun with the camera as well. That was most of the story of it. But this is the grand final now, the end of map 1. And sort of a little misplay here, giving up the map. Walking into the fight, you can see the jubilation from Control there. They ended up taking out the victory as well. They're a big upset as well. Everyone assumed that Kings were going to dominate the day.
They did. Kings were a massive crowd favourite leading up to WPGI. They did so well, undefeated throughout the league season, and I'm pretty sure that was a record they carried on from previous seasons as that lineup. There was, it was hard to find some of the stats around that because, of course, they've changed orgs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't really,
I struggled a little bit.
It wasn't followed hugely by HLTV either.
But Kings standout, absolute standout prior to the event. So it was good to see Control come in there and make an underdog story of it.
Oh, always great to see an underdog manage to come through. And especially in the way they did. What is it, PGTV finally putting on a beautiful LAN.
Yeah, it was good to see it.
Eventually, once it did
start, middle, and an end.
Once it did
and
start.
that's it. But unfortunately, delays happen. You know, they happen at massive events. You get technical issues at League of Legends Worlds where they swap out computers. So, but very glad that it went off once it started without a hitch, that we were able to see these ladies compete on LAN.
And also, Conky casting his first LAN. First live tournament, did really good.
Yeah, we had Conky, he was doing some stuff at PAX, and he did a lot of work with the Lenovo Legion booth. He's a talented guy, and you should go follow his Twitch channel as well, /Conky, C-O-N double K.
Oh, I think it's also
K
it's
triple
like
Y.
spelt backwards. Or,
yeah, the poor guy. But we will link that later on. Might give him a tweet later as well because he's phenomenal up and comer and doing stuff for Ritus as well, Ritus eSports, who are an eSports club. So good on Conky. Well done to the PGTV media team and to the rest of AMG WPGI who were helping out with that event.
Yeah. Now is that where we want to move on to the next exciting bit, or are we gonna?
Let's go. Let's keep going with some recaps.
Okay.
I think we can make people sweat before we get the Keemstar drama alert happening on the show.
What? Yeah, we were hoping not to have to do a contract thing for John.
No,
we're just hoping.
We really, I was keen.
Just
we
a
had
week.
everything prepared hours in advance for today. Like normally we're pushing to make sure that everything's triple checked before we go live. And this week we're well done. Like Lewis had done content as of last night, ready for this.
Oh,
and we're,
past few days.
We're like, cool, we'll just make sure we're happy with the final order, we'll have the show. And then upcoming segments completely changed everything. So we'll leave that for now, Lewis.
Okay, let's get
tell
into
us
it.
about IESF and the lead up to WEGL.
Yep. So IESF. Where did my paper go? What is going on? Nothing's going right, is it? Here we go.
You've lost papers.
Would
you
you like
can't.
my Chinese to English translation?
This was the International Esports Federation. They had sort of a World Cup type thing. He was an Australian Tekken player.
What was that? I love your work. That was perfect, flawless, Lewis.
Yeah,
No, actually it was. That's the thing, that's the sad part.
They went
about
with
it.
Gabe. Here was the opening ceremony. It was a little bit awkward. That's why I have sort of left this bit in, just because this dude waving the flag, having to give the flag, he was just about to announce the opening as well. He's like, I announced it, and she's like, give me a flag.
Like, don't announce now.
Reminds me of Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what to do with my hands. What do I do with my hands right now?
Although that is a good-looking flag. Like, those flags are...
It's
as
very
far
nice.
as
I love it.
flags
This-
go, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, 35 countries there. Here, Macedonia, can you please hold my folder while I roll this flag along itself? But yeah, 35 countries there, 400 players over Tekken, League of Legends, and CSGO. As you can see, they absolutely thrilled. But we had two Aussies there commentating in Sniper and Danny Kim. And beautiful light show there
The crowd goes
as
wild.
I was starting up. But mixed team.
Mixed team.
Mixed team. Thailand had a female in there, so that was definitely good to see. But Ginny was her name. But Chiefs were there. Unfortunately, Inns, he was drowned by a pile of bookwork doing exams, and Dick Stacey was here to save the day.
And you can see right there, the ability to ride playground equipment directly correlates with CSGO performance.
Certainly right. Well, the first 2 days, they did really well. They went
did.
2-0, but then after that, the playground equipment might have weared off.
Need to get back on
And,
those springs.
Yeah, and they went down to Switzerland. They did force the overtime here, but they couldn't pull it out in the end, which was unfortunate. They did then go through to the finals. Quarterfinal against Romania was the next one. As you can see, the crowd once again thrilled.
Oh, that's unfortunate, that camera angle.
Yeah, but they lost to Romania 2-0. Russia took it in the end. Of course, Russia very strong. CSGO
very strong.
nation.
Very strong.
And the League of Legends was won by none other than South Korea.
That is a massive shock. I couldn't believe that
Yeah.
a team out of South Korea would achieve so highly in League of Legends. It's not like they have a long standing of that at the World Championships. So that's massive surprise on my face right now. But overall, great event. Good to see esports coming out on the world stage again. Well done to the Chiefs, who played considerably well.
And with a stand-in as well.
With a stand-in. Dick
It's a good
Sassy,
stand-in.
a big rig stand-in,
Yep.
but nevertheless a stand-in. And that does upset certain things about performance, like team synergy. It is different having someone in there, obviously, but they performed. We're happy, and always good to have Australians performing and on the world stage representing us.
Yeah, certainly right. Unfortunately, Gabe.
Gabe?
We're talking. It's actually worse than your Twitter handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about changing it to Greg.
Greg?
But yeah, Greg. Nice
It
vanilla
would be
name.
better. I would be able to find you.
Oh, what? Between the 12 other followers you have?
2102.
It's a really good Twitter handle.
a really good
But how did Greg go overall?
He didn't place top 8.
Okay,
Unfortunately.
that's unfortunate. But he went over there and he represented, so well played. Good efforts, and hopefully next year we can see some bigger performances come out of Australian sides.
That's right. Maybe a League of Legends team we can send over there too.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Maybe.
Because they've got that as well. But that does move on to the what do they call themselves? Here we go. I'll find WEGC, the World Esports Gaming League.
Yeah, that's right.
Esports Games and Leagues.
Yeah, so WEGL?
Yeah.
Yes.
WEGL. So that's
Yes.
in the same. That's in Busan in South Korea as well.
Okay.
Another world tournament after the world tournament the next week. Of course.
One
Of
I have
course.
two when you don't have to move countries, it's fine.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
At least,
It's
look,
fine.
it's back to back, it's convenient.
You don't have to rebook accommodation,
Like, that's
no
right.
flights. No, you're fine.
That's it. Although Chiefs did have to fly Inns over because he's now
'Cause now-
available.
that's right.
He and Dick Sassy will be at Zen,
pool.
which we'll get to later.
Yes.
But it will be Chiefs, Kingwin, Ardent, and Vici fighting for 53,000 USD approximately,
Ooh, not bad.
which is 60 million South Korean won.
That's a lot of won.
That's a lot of
That's more won than you probably need. Probably 10% too much won.
I love when you do this, Lewis. When you come in with these international tournaments and they just, like, the numbers, they tickle me.
It's absolutely brilliant.
That's gold. Well, we'll keep track of WEGL and we'll give you an update, hopefully on next week's show, on how the teams track and how Chiefs go during that competition. So tune in same time next week for that. Moving forward, another announcement's come through today from the Sydney Cricket Ground involving LG Direwolves and Super Stella. So the first announced a high-performance esports centre is going to be at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
I think I heard of one of those previously.
There was a previously first announced high-performance centre going to be at Amy Stadium through the Adelaide Crows and Legacy. This one is the first one.
Is that because it's on the East Coast and they're just that little bit ahead of us in time?
That's got to be it.
That
has to be it.
It couldn't be the whole East Coast mentality.
Not at all, friend, but nevertheless, this is another move forward for professionalism in esports. So the Sydney Cricket Ground have announced that they're building a high-performance centre similar to what the Crows announced they are doing, but in their own way, of course, at the SCG. And this is being done in conjunction with the LG Direwolves, who of course also have their secondary brand Super Stella. It's going to be providing them with an esports centre for play, for training. They're going to have access to all of the facilities that are at the SCG, including pool and gym and specialists involved in exercise and diet and everything. So it's, again, big step forward in terms of the way we think about esports in our region and the way that we actually build around esports in the region.
Plus, as far as I'm aware, they're going to make it so that teams locally or internationally can like rent out a spot there and use it as like a hotel.
Yeah, and up and comers as well. I think I saw in there as well. They were going to lease out.
One of the quotes was, that the idea is that it's exciting because they can help foster and develop talent across the region, which one question mark is, I'm wondering how you develop talent across a region when you're only located in one city, and Australia and Oceania are quite large.
They've got beds.
That's right. So I think the point is that it'll be a facility that is available to people other than LG Direwolves and Super Stella. That's how I feel from the wording of what was written. It feels different to what Legacy and Crows announced. because
Yeah, it
that
feels
is
very
very
different.
directly, Crows are doing this for Legacy.
And they're
But
getting
at
the
s-
players involved, like the Crows players,
That's
and they
right.
can provide coaching as well.
I think, though, by the same token, it wouldn't surprise me that Crows would obviously work with other teams and say, okay, you're in Adelaide for CGPL for CSGO, sure, come rent our performance centre out at Amy Stadium. Like,
A high performance centre.
that's right, high performance. And if it's broadcasting or entertainment, it's high octane. That's it's the two differences in terminology you need now.
High performance when training,
Yes,
High octane
All
when
playing,
broadcasting.
and then it turns into octane.
high octane for broadcasting. That's right.
yeah.
So need to make those two, they're very distinct terms.
Yeah,
that
they
are
move from the
being used.
unleaded to the premium.
That's right. You need that premium, clear out the tanks, and but another good move. Overall,
Yeah.
great to see some traditional brands and large brands with venues like the SCG getting involved in esports. It's a massive trend. We saw TNL Media put out, and Dave Harris has shared it as well today on Twitter, an infographic going over brands that are investing in esports just in this quarter alone.
Yep.
So you've got massive names out there. Even unconventional brands like Allianz are getting involved in esports and have got involved in esports in the third quarter of 2017.
Yeah.
And that to me is a big shift in what's happening with esports in the region.
Yeah, more non-endemics is always good, especially if they're not coming in and getting burned as well, which most of these definitely are not. I mean, Maximum's been a mainstay in OC for a long time, or quite some time now.
Yeah.
And like they're getting brilliant exposure.
And apparently Aiden was lucky enough to have a suss of it today, so we might have to talk to him in the near future about his thoughts about the SCG and what's going on there. So
Maybe we need to get him over there.
yeah, maybe we need to bring him over here.
Yeah, maybe we can go to the Adelaide one, he can go to the Sydney one, and then we can sort of like fight it out on which one's better.
Yeah, we can do a fight to the death, gladiator-style battle royale. We'll drop in with parachutes into Amy Stadium.
What
and
do you
fight
think
it
the
out there.
budget of this show is?
Extremely high.
I mean, it is. It's really high in South Korean won.
Yeah, millions of South Korean won.
Millions.
Okay.
I wouldn't put it that high.
All the won. All the won.
But we'll keep track of these developments in esports as always. We're always looking for different business moves and what's going on in the greater scope of the of this region. And so stay tuned for more updates on that. Good luck to Direwolves and Superstellar working with the SCG on this high performance centre. It does bring us though to our big topic for the night.
Yep.
Yeah.
And apologies to everyone. All right, we're going to give Judge a night off from his contract speeches, and we have to have another.
And like,
one.
I'm not even going to go as far with this as I want because this happened way too
About
soon.
2.5 hours ago.
And I have
Details
not
are
had-
just press releases.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
yes.
Just press releases and like, look, there's a lot to this. But I have with me the AEMG press release, 2 pages, 2 beautiful pages, released by Sam Kirkland regarding the Riot Oceania competitive ruling regarding Peter PDG Sulis and James Gymneso Cowan. For those of you who might not be aware, Athletico Esports does own a League of Legends OCS team, which is Division 2, OPL, the Oceanic Premier League. Then you've got OCS, the Oceanic Challenger Series, and then the Oceanic Open Ladder, which is Div 3.
And
right?
AEMG owns Atletico.
Yes, so AEMG, Australian Esports Management Group, owns Athletico as well as the WPGI and PGTV Media. It has come to light that in the recent times, unfortunately, both Gymneso and PDG were involved in an advertisement for CrownBet. And we actually have a post here from Riot Games' official ruling on this. Athletico joined the Oceanic Challenger Series in the start of Split 2 2017 in the wake of Exile 5's relegation. For those of you that weren't aware, Exile 5 had some issues regarding financing and ultimately they went into administration but had that League of Legends spot open. Athletico picked that up after the season came to a close. 2 of Athletico Esports' 3 company directors, which is PDG and Gymneso, appeared in a CrownBet video segment in which they promoted and explored the betting odds for the League of Legends World Championship games, including Direwolves matches. The reason this is important, and you can go have a look at the ruling yourself, you can also have a read of AEMG's press release. Sam Kirkland, who is the managing director, just wanted to make sure I got that correct, he put out a tweet today addressing and linking both the official Riot ruling as well as AEMG's PDF press release. The problem with this is that regardless of your stance on gambling in esports, in sports, whatever, doesn't matter which way you go, Riot has a very explicit stance on no gambling affiliation. And this, to put it simply, this ruling has come not against Atletico, but against Pete and Jim themselves at AEMG, because they are directors of Atletico. The team has done nothing wrong. It was targeted at them, hence the ruling that's come through and the consequences following. They participated in a Crown Bet advertisement. Crown Bet, it's simple, it's gambling.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way about it. It's very explicit. The content of this was about gambling on League of Legends, including Direwolves matches. It's directly related to even local League of Legends, because the Direwolves were involved in Worlds. In saying that, we need to be very distinct on what we're talking about here, because the whole management structure of AEMG and Atletico and stuff, it can confuse people. It has been confirmed, and I said on Twitter that maybe Atletico will retain the spot. It depends on how they work things out with Riot, because the penalty has come down that James Jim Nesso-Cowan has been banned from, and the definition is owning or being involved in Riot League of Legends eSports for 12 months. PDG has been banned for 6. The reason behind that is because, and according to the AEMG press release, it was the sole responsibility of the Director of Content for AEMG and PGTV, James Cowan, to ensure that all content created by the company was cleared for creation from a legal perspective. According to the full press release, and I'm going to make sure that I sum this up as best as possible without reading this document straight to you, but the point is, it was Jim Nesso's fault. He needed to clear this and he didn't, and that's what we're being told by AEMG. Pete gets a lesser consequence because he was just on-screen talent. He should have known better, and Riot said, look, you've still breached, doesn't matter, and that's why he gets 6 months. Now, Pete has confirmed on Twitter, after I initially said maybe they will hold on to the spot as Atletico, depends how they work it out, they will not. They will not be having an OCS spot in the next, or in 2018.
Yeah.
They will be relieving that, because
they
are still directors of Atletico. So if they want to stay at Atletico, they've got to get out of League of Legends. It's that simple.
Yeah.
That's cool. And it wouldn't make sense for everybody and for Pete to drop his stake in Atletico just so Atletico can have a LOL team. Like, no, don't do that.
When that's not their main focus either.
And it's also an OCS team. It's not an OPL team. There is a big difference in those two in terms of the way the ecosystem works. So I understand that. Need to point out as well, some people are saying, oh, Jim's been removed from AEMG. That's not the case at this stage. He has been suspended. There is a complete difference between being suspended from your role and being removed. And so AEMG's board of directors are going over this and having a look at Jim Nesso's role within AEMG. And I assume that moving forward, they'll release another press release regarding that issue in and of itself, or at least we hope. It'd be good to see official word from AEMG on that update. But boys, what's your thoughts on this? I mean, we've had discussions prior to the show while we were frantically reading about this.
Yeah. We
were talking and on Twitter about it. We had links thrown at us about the Renegades with Monte Cristo and Badawi. Let's start with you, Lewis. What are your thoughts on this, comparisons and all?
Well, it's very different to anything else, I think. Like, I mean, I haven't gone and looked at those, but just because it is about sort of being in an advert, it's not about doing anything sort of malicious. It's just straight up, you break the terms.
Yeah.
So I can see why they've done it. Right. It's basically what Riot could do, should do, did do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, you break the rules. Yeah. You're going to get banned. And like, it is going to be a loss of investment. They did have to purchase that slot.
They did.
And they are going to have to sell it off. And if
and
they
there's
get
no
market
way
value,
anybody is going to buy it for market value, because they've got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And it's just, for me, it's just like they had basically a successful LAN tournament over in Perth just before, like a couple days ago on the weekend. And now they go into, so it's like, yay, we've done it. We got rid of all the sort of hate over WPGI Season 1. It's all looking good, happy days. And bam, brick to the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
this is pretty heavy.
It's pretty painful. And like, I mean, Jim Nesso's been there forever. That was like before it got bought out by the sort of AEMG type of thing, where they still took control, they still have control within the company. That'd be a huge hit to lose Jim.
Yeah, well, Terry, your thoughts?
Well, it's disappointing as all hell. 2 directors out of 3, they should know better. They should know how to cross the T's and not their I's. They should know how to read a contract. And they knew what they were getting into when they did the ad. So, I mean, for me, I'm against gambling in esports, but that aside, this is just, I'm not surprised that Riot's come down so hard on them.
And it's a big thing for Riot, because Riot, no matter what you think of them, Riot Global, Riot Oceania, they are pretty firm on their rules.
Yeah.
And they come down hard with their rules.
As they should be.
As they should be. It's having a talk in the chat here. Marjan Nabura said, did Petey not sign the contract with Riot, though, being the esports director? So he should get just as severe as punishment as anyone else.
I think the main issue with that is the story goes that Jim said, yes, it's fine, I've checked with Riot, it's all good, guys, let's just go ahead. And so everyone else has gone, cool, there's no need for us to double check.
That's his job.
Yeah.
And I'm of a similar mindset. I understand where Nabura is coming from, absolutely, I get it, that he should have equal responsibility because he signed the contract, he should understand the terms, he should understand the rules regarding this kind of thing. Yeah, okay, fair enough, but it's not his fault to the same extent as James. It was James's job.
Yeah.
And
he
you would
said that he
think
did his job.
That's right.
According
According to the press release.
Statement, according to the press release, yes.
So apparently there was conversations regarding it, and Pete was told it's fine. So I see where Riot's come through with this, and at the end of the day as well, Riot can only do so much.
Yeah.
And they've come through, they've worked with AEMG in this investigation. It says so in their official ruling that they have both been very cooperative with one another, and it's been a good process dealing with this. They can only use the information they're given. And if it's explicit, of course, they probably went and saw the Crown Bet ad and all of this stuff as well. Like, it's very explicit to see what's gone on there. They've asked AEMG for what's happened in the back end, I assume. Yeah. And you'd also assume that AEMG has provided this and said this is what's happened. So if that's the way Riot's dealt with it, that's the way Riot's dealt with it. And look, overall, I think this has been handled very well. I think that Riot's fair in what they've done. It's not an unreasonable punishment. Arguments there still, and the argument will circle around Twitter and the esports scene for weeks about whether this punishment is right in terms of the scale on both Pete and Jim.
Yeah, I think it's not too bad. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't a malicious thing. It was just a breach of contract in an area that they don't want you getting into. Obviously, there's betting on League of Legends.
Exactly.
Obviously. And people in certain fields can do that. I mean, Unicorn is a company that runs everything off of their betting site. Like, their pools probably come from their betting site.
Yeah.
So there's no real, you're not a fan of it. I don't mind it. Like, I haven't gambled on anything in months, but
yeah, I was going to say it's been a while.
yeah, it's been quite some time.
Very proud of you.
But it's not a malicious thing. Peanut Gallery haven't gone out and say, hey, let's cheat, let's do something like this. They just, because they've got affiliations with Crown Bet as well, so they're just going, hey, look, we're a part of this, let's go do it. And it's gone to bite them in the butt.
That's it. Deborah further is saying it wasn't his Petey's job as the esports director to understand anything esports. Riot have been staunch on gambling forever and have a big part of their contract regarding it. That's a cop-out. Like, again, roundtable, circular argument that no matter what, this is how Riot's gone with it. And I, on this point, lean with you, Lewis, in saying that this was not malicious. It's not a horrible treatment of players.
They weren't match fixing either.
No match fixing. We're not talking. Hell, we're not even talking about having poor contracts that don't meet the standard player contract requirements of Riot.
Wasn't even on their own games.
No. So really, they went, by all appearances, they've gone into this with good intentions. As you can imagine, hey, let's produce some content with a corporate partner of ours that we do work for and we get income from. It makes sense why they would have done it. It's just that due diligence has now bit them in the arse. So we will follow it. We hope for some more updates, especially while AEMG reviews James Jim Nesso Cowan's role at AEMG. And we hope for the best for the future. Pete's copped this on the chin. James has copped this on the chin as well in their tweets. And so they've been nice and upfront about it, and respect for owning up to it and saying, look, yes, we did this, we copped this on the chin.
But look at the bright side, their Twitter impressions will be through the roof.
Got to keep them socials up.
Oh, God. So, that aside, and leaving the drama behind. This one can go carefully filed down there. Looking forward into the future. We've got the ESL AUNZ finals for Rocket League and League of Legends, as well as Zen League on that weekend coming up.
We certainly do. So, got a little preview video as well for this one. Yeah, beautiful little tournaments that they put on here. Yummy Cheese Man jumping up as well. I even made my voice is on there. Yeah, yep. Yeah, my head's getting a little bit bigger.
Oh, nice, yeah. Look at you, Mr. Premier.
I got the full height bit, but you can go to this. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Like it starts tomorrow. So get in there. You can still get an early bird ticket.
Thank God.
$15 for the weekend. It's $10 a day though if you just want to go for one day. But Terry, you've got what's actually going on there.
So we got the Zen League finals on Friday for the whole day and Saturday afternoon. The ESL AUNZ Championship Rocket League finals are Saturday morning. Yeah. And the one I'll be watching is ESL AUNZ Championship for the League of Legends finals will be all day Sunday.
Lovely.
It'll be the best part of it because no one watched Rocket League. No one watched Rocket League.
Lewis.
Well, the views throughout the season weren't that great.
Yeah, okay,
no,
they weren't.
No way.
It's the same teams as Throwdown, but
yeah.
Maybe we should go into that discussion. I mean, I know we've got plenty of time right now, but I don't think we want to touch that discussion right here.
I'll just say that we didn't get hosted by Rocket League.
True.
For 70,000 viewers.
Yeah.
That probably would have helped.
You reckon? International viewership, hosting for 70,000, retaining 10,000 might help with your average viewership numbers?
Actual Rocket League viewers.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Might make a dent.
But
Maybe.
yeah, so yeah, unfortunately the views weren't too great throughout the season, but it's not going to be too much Rocket League on, so maybe the views will pump up. Watch that, go there, watch it in person. It's an awesome studio as well. It's not huge, but it's a nice little cozy arena.
Snug? Is what you described as snug? For $15, it wouldn't be
Mate,
snug.
well, it was snug for season 2 when I went to cast there. They had beanbags out.
Oh,
yeah.
It is snug.
Jam actually fell asleep on them.
Oh, really? Mate, it was just prep. It was prep. That's all it was.
It was, but the
Part of a
teams-
strict land regiment.
Yes. So the Rocket League teams that are playing, Chiefs and Pale Horse, they're the two teams that we highlighted earlier. I mean, Chiefs are going to be obvious favourites here.
Yes.
And then Pale Horse came second last season. Jam came third last season as well. And we've got Scylla in there as well, taking a Vant Gaming slot from the previous season. So it's the same lineup as Throwdown at PAX.
Yep.
Cool. And that is going to be a very, very good group of Rocket League there to watch.
Absolutely.
But Jam, I don't know if they're playing under their new org.
Well,
Will they play under Dark-Sided or will they play under Jam?
I don't actually know the answer to that. That's a good question because so the Jam Rocket League team has been picked up by Dark-Sided.
So Jam basically gave them a pass on their contract.
They did. They released them.
Allowed them to go look for other options.
Yes, and Jam did this not only with their Rocket League team, but they also did it with one of their FGC players.
Yes.
So they said, look, coming up, you guys will probably want to field some offers for the new year. Feel free to be released from your contracts. Take this as your official release, and you can pursue other opportunities if you wish.
Yeah.
Which I think was, for the Rocket League team, really good business practice.
Yeah.
And go, feel free to pursue other contracts. We've talked about this previously off camera where it's happened in League of Legends as well for the OPL.
Chiefs do it pretty much every season.
That's right, where Chiefs go, cool, OPL team, if you want to go field some other offers, go for it. Feel free to explore them. And if you want to re-sign with us, let's do that. Or if you want to go with them, that's cool. And
it's more for seeking international opportunities as well.
That's right, especially in League of Legends where they can go, that is available. We have seen players go over internationally getting ready to play in titles from teams here, across titles. So it's a smart idea. There's an argument to be made around the FGC player that was released from Jam and the business practice behind that. I'm not going to get into that today.
Please don't.
Because it's just it's
we don't
been
need more judge
we don't know
contracts.
more
We
contracts.
don't.
We
Not
give
at all.
him one an episode now.
That's right. We're limiting my quota.
Yeah.
We're going to get him an intro as well.
Yeah, we should. That'll be great. But not. That's a discussion for another time. But they did release them, so we'll have to find out if they're going to be playing under Dark-Sided.
So it might be Dark-Sided, they might be Jam, they'll be red and black either way.
There'll be
so you'll
something.
able to spot 'em.
They'll be there.
That's true. It might be a jersey swap. We'll see.
It could be.
Maybe they'll
but
do it on a timeshare basis. Like you can have first game. If we make it through, you can have the second game, and if it's grand final, you wear
Half and half.
Alternate Maybe.
Yeah, but that's going to be really competitive, especially for the the bottom three. Chiefs should wipe the floor with that. They really should. But, well, I mean, in the last season, they only lost one game. They didn't lose. Did they? They lost one game at the IEM season 1.
Yes, they lost one game.
Which we covered.
We did.
And then whenever with Rankies, they didn't. I think they only lost one to Pale Horse in the grand final. And I'm expecting it to go kind of similar way, but I mean, it's going to be hyper competitive between Pale Horse, Jamor, Darksided, and Scylla.
Absolutely. Pale Horse, though, I feel have been very impressive in their Rocket League performance. Obviously, with RLCS, like keeping that outside of it.
That's going to help.
They've developed so much as a team.
They actually came in and just blew up. I mean, they came in with 5. They interchanged a lot, but now they're getting down to that core of CJ, Kami, and Kia, and they're looking very, very like they're just improving.
They are
all the time. And as I said, they didn't have mechanical issues at RLCS. It was just speed, and you could see that in double committing.
Yeah, and that happens. I mean, when you're going up against RLCS, and like you mentioned in the recap, EU plays a very fast game compared to what we play here.
Yeah, they play it fast compared to NA as well. And NA plays super fast.
So looking at that, you might be great mechanically, but if the other team's got the ball more than you and is running it around quicker than you can keep up with it, of course they're going to overrun you. But coming down to local LAN, I think Pale Horse are going to be my favourite to take second, statistically, and my heart's in it. I would like to see Jam get a bit of a return to form. I feel that or Jam Darksided, I feel that some things haven't quite been going right for the team. For me, I feel it's a multitude of factors. And I hope that they can sort that out and actually come
back. Came back from RLCS 3, who was the team that went over there, they actually came back and were the best team for quite some time.
Yes.
But have dropped off just a little bit, and that has been the difference. But Scylla also that's going to be very different to watch as well, because you've got Daisu coming in as Snarf, who's changed his name to Kira, has departed competitive gaming completely. He's selling his computer.
He is. So if you're looking for a decent gaming computer, you can buy Snarf that's available, or Kira on his Twitter. He's
if it's not already sold.
Yeah, if it's still available.
If it's still available.
But yeah, Scylla have had a rough recent history.
Yeah. But Daisu coming in, he's a fantastic sub to bring in.
And he was in, he's been a part of the Scylla
he's been playing. He
so
played in the season as well.
That's right. And Daisu's been a staple of the community for a long time. He's a long-standing player. That Scylla lineup is a good lineup, and I like Scylla in the way they handle their social media as well. They're pretty spot on with that. So we'll see. We have said. Xenox is saying also the Rocket League will be intense viewing. Don't listen to T-Ball, check it out.
No, it's going to be intense.
It's going to be brilliant.
I mean, the Chiefs are going to intense over everybody.
Yeah. They're going to out-intense everyone.
Yeah, but if someone can take them down, that's huge.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to be, that's the main thing I'm going to be watching for, if someone can take down Chiefs, and then after that, who can come second? Because the Chiefs are really, really good. But yeah, that is going to be some awesome Rocket League, and Brainstorm's getting into some action.
Brainstorm and Hysterics should be covering it.
Done all the seasons, and I just don't get to go to the final.
Oh, poor Lewis.
Next thing you know, Chief will tank completely.
That's it. Everything's just...
Man. If they lose and I'm not
apart.
commentating that, I'm going to not be happy.
but last time you commentated them, they did lose. They lost a game, yeah?
One game, but not a series.
Well, maybe it's your fault when they lose. So it's probably a good thing that you're not going.
No. If I'm there, if Sangi's there and I'm there, Chiefs win.
Is that the
combo?
That literally...
So there's a direct correlation. You've heard it here first. Direct correlation between
Sangi and Sangi's have to be at the game for Chiefs to win.
No, I don't have to, but if I am...
Yeah.
He's talking lawyer talk and it's hitting my brain.
Yeah.
Well, I did do practical reasoning at university. So.
You did, and we don't want to go down that rabbit hole with you in philosophy.
No.
Please don't.
No. What is blue?
No, that's not it at all. I would have quit.
Looking at another upcoming event.
You
got more for me?
I'll just do Zen for a little bit as well.
Okay.
Because we had Ferg here.
We did.
Oh, he was not very happy. He had a few choice words for ESL.
He did.
And they've got a spot.
Tainted Minds now have a spot in Zen League.
Yeah, Tainted Minds are going.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so 5 Power have had visa issues, and none of the other Asian teams that competed could get visas. Thank you, Australian government.
Good job. The one thing you get right about visas. Well done.
The what?
Don't worry. We'll talk about it later.
So anyway, they can't get the network going, the internet network, and they can't give people visas to come and play at a venue.
Yeah.
But so Tainted Minds actually get their spot. kind of back. So it's going to be not Chiefs. Chiefs are over in WESGAL.
WQAT 1269XZY.
WEGL.
Too many acronyms. Kings and Greyhound, they were the two top finishers. Kings, top seed. Greyhound knocked Tainted Minds out, who...
With a gauntlet that we spoke about in that episode.
Yeah, who Tainted Minds were not happy about.
Yeah.
MVP PK from South Korea will be competing, and then Tainted Minds as a fourth. And that'll be some very, very good and competitive CSGO. That is completely up in the air. Who could take that out?
Yeah, I agree. I think looking at the lineup, my preference lies with either Kings or Greyhound, and it just comes down to the day. I think both of them have very strong lineups. They perform very well in recent events. So coming into this, for me, that's top two right there.
Yeah, MVP PK performed very well on lands as well against those two teams. So, yeah, I'd probably lean towards Kings taking it out, but I wouldn't be surprised if anybody wins.
Yeah.
Anybody at all.
It could be anyone's game. Looking here at IM Oakland, you've got a little bit of a hype reel that for those that haven't seen it.
I certainly do. This is a fantastic little 2 clips, so we're going to play this with the sound on. We'll let you enjoy the beauty of them. This is IM Oakland.
Aggressive. One way to do it. That's why. Way in the middle. Moving towards the ball. That's really on that side. And another great shot from Alu. It's the fourth as well. Looking for the ace. Alu. Vision limited weapons. Doesn't even matter to play. Oh, the fourth as well. He's looking for the ace. The first ace.
They have to twist and fight. They have no kids before it's in a lovely position. Look out!
So now, oh, that went well. So now CSGO is going to have $300,000 up for grabs here.
Ooh, baby.
$150 to first. Unfortunately, Renegades just got knocked out this morning. And that's the lineup for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So big names in there, Cloud9, FaZe.
EG still exists. Nice.
Yeah, Tempo Storm. TSM's in there as well. Team Liquid. I mean, that is a huge, huge lineup. And it's fantastic to see, $200,000 going into that.
On PUBG, look, I know there's some people in the community that argue that PUBG, it's great that it's being done at the top level like this, but it's akin to other esports titles where there's absolutely nothing for progression from the bottom up. So that's probably another discussion we can put in the bank of discussions for another time.
Another argument, but with big tournaments, it will then hopefully allow for that kind of progression.
Yeah, it's a top up, it's a pulling approach that we grab it from the top.
Like Overwatch.
That's right.
Which we're not huge fans of.
No,
but
I mean, discussion in the chat right now. Marcus the streamer has said that he reckons CSGO is a dead game with the likes of titles like Overwatch coming through. I thoroughly disagree.
That's like...
It's adorable.
That was the
cute
argument when Overwatch came out.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, Overwatch is the CSGO killer and proceeded to not kill CSGO
didn't
for
CSGO
several
win
years.
Game of the Year?
Yes, it did at the eSports Industry Awards. PUBG won the up-and-coming esports title of the year, I think it was.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
New game of the year. Not actually like game of the year, but along those lines. New esports title or something.
Could be an esports
Yeah, basically. I did have a full list of it, but don't have it with me. Aiden's in the chat, of course, saying he wouldn't call CS dead. The market's just expanding now, and we're actually seeing CS grow still.
It's not even close to being dead. It's a dumb argument. Let's move on.
Yes, so we won't go into that.
Sorry to whoever said that, but it's just not true. So I am. It's on at a good time because it's Western America.
Yes, because it's West Coast.
Yeah, West Coast. So that's on basically like the finals are going to be on about 8 a.m. in the morning for Eastern.
Oh wow.
So the stage finals will be Sunday and Monday morning. Well, Monday morning's not generally the best time for people to watch stuff.
I mean, no.
I might call in sick. Actually, I probably will call in sick. I shouldn't have said that live.
No.
Damn it.
we can't edit that out.
Except for T-Ball Super Bowl parties on a Monday morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
Exactly. But, so good time to watch those finals. It's not like an EU crummy time zone. It's really good. CSGO also still has tomorrow morning. That's at about 5 a.m. though, but it goes to like 1 p.m. or something. So it's definitely good if you enjoy CSGO. Watch that. Check hltv.org for more details. But yeah, Player Unknowns, it's still good to watch. I mean, it's a bit confusing for me who hasn't really played it too much, but like H1Z1, similar style of game. It's still very interesting just to watch it.
Yeah, it is. And it's a simple concept. People understand what's going on.
You don't have to know. You don't have to know the call outs to know what's going on.
Yeah.
You don't have to know what weapons they got. It's like, oh look, he's got a big gun. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's basically just people converging on
Or
each
if
other.
you're Sniper, CSGO commentator, you're sitting in a bush and you've got a crossbow and you win. So.
Or falling off a cliff.
Yeah, that's right.
Which was one of his clips. But yeah, so it's definitely good viewing. I am Oakland. I am across the board put on great events. So definitely tune into that one. If you haven't gone to the ESL LAN, which is basically around Parramatta in Sydney. If you're in Sydney, just head down. It's a good time.
It will be a good time. Having a look moving forward as well, it's been announced that Gears of War is having a big event down at the ESL studios also.
Yeah, they certainly are. That's going to be in 2 weekends' time, so the weekend after this.
Yes.
And it's like an open tournament, it looks like.
It is.
From what I can gather.
It is open.
It's an open tournament. Rock up, pay $100, and you're in.
That's it.
Well,
$100
for your
a
team,
team.
for your team.
Yeah, $100 a team. So
17.
not quite that
so
much.
us and 14 mates can pay $100. That's a good deal, actually.
Yeah, it would be good.
That would be a really good deal for 17 aside, but it's not. Gears of War is considerably smaller than 17
It'd be
aside.
4 or 5.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's 4v4, I think.
I
I haven't really touched Gears of War eSports. I apologise. We saw this
Gears
one
people.
late.
Please tell us what it is. Tell us how we're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Gears of War, as an esport, as a title to watch, my God, is it fast-paced. Like, some of the movement, sometimes it looks a bit janky when they quickly cover swap, but I have watched a little bit of it, and going in Gears of War style, of course, it's 18+. It has got lots of red, and it's thoroughly enjoyable to watch.
Yes.
But this ESL event, it's good to see Gears of War getting some more push. There have been events run by GameStar in the past for Gears of War, and it's good to see a bigger event being held at the studios for ESL.
Yeah, certainly. And if you like watching it, you can also head down there. I think it's like $10 for a ticket.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. So
Early bird tickets still available.
I think it was just 1 ticket for that one. But, yeah, take advantage of that early bird offer, like, seriously.
Yeah, do it.
That is a good offer. $15 for 3 days of entertainment. Like top tier entertainment.
It's good value. I mean, honestly, where do you go that you get a full day's entertainment for $20?
Don't know. I think
maybe no.
Well,
with you,
it's the
Terry,
pub.
it's definitely not $20.
Yeah, that's true.
what do you, if you hit the Keno.
But that does almost round out our episode. It's now time for everybody's favourite award.
Hey, it's worked as well.
Ooh, it's the Gaming Award.
It's so pretty.
There it is. We got there in the end.
This heads over to Gentlemen's Quarterly. They got into esports. They're like, hey, let's do it. Mr. Andy Mitten, good job here. Did a little article about how some cyber athletes even look like they've had consensual sex.
High five, Judge.
Now this had everything. Like it even removed it a couple of days later. I went and checked back today, and they removed it. So thank you, Andy Mitten. You get the special e-gaming award for this week. Well deserved. Like this wasn't even close.
Yeah.
So he's used eSports, the lowercase e, uppercase s. They've used eGamer.
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 Okay, yeah.
He had an interview with the founder of something called Fnatic.
So only a small-time organisation in the industry.
Yeah. Yeah, something called Fnatic.
I can't believe you said that.
So e-gaming award, of course. That no contest.
No.
Yeah, the team even had a coach.
This is, and so my point on all of this, when I saw this article come out and the revision removing any really poor taste rape jokes being put in an article, and we don't need to talk about how bad that is just in professional journalism.
It's not even that. He's called everyone a virgin or a rapist in one sentence. Like, he's just gone full slather.
Yeah, he has. And so at the end of the day, like, there has been an argument on Twitter, and it's a recurring argument. Asking, and Reddit, not just about this article though, but saying, do we really mind if people don't use the AP style guide and have a lowercase e, capital case S? At least mainstream media is reporting on esports. And there's two sides to that argument. Some people say, yes, it's like, if we forgive them and give them a little bit of leeway, at least we're getting articles out.
Nah.
But then there's the other side saying, no, if they need to do articles, they should do it properly.
Yeah.
In this case, nobody disagrees. You've got to do it properly.
Yeah, do it completely properly. I mean, the whole story was based around esports stealing young fans away from football or soccer.
Half the article was him reminiscing about his time going to Old Trafford with his friends and paying £40 a ticket to sit in the rain to watch 20 men play with a white ball in shorts.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I'm the sweaty nerd.
For one goal, for maybe one goal.
Maybe.
In 90 minutes.
And depending on stoppage time, we're not sure how long this game's going to go.
So not as high octane, you might say.
No, definitely not as high octane.
I'd say Toyota Prius, maybe. Possibly.
No, soccer it is the world game. It is a fantastic sport, but it's Andy. No, that's all I can really say.
Why?
So the e-gaming award goes to Andy over at GQ. Like, I mean, they advertise basically only $50,000 items that are like, he's not going to sell that to esports players. It's not written for esports people, but get your information.
Yeah,
get your information.
Get it right.
That's
do it once, do it right.
At the end of the day, that's all we ask for. But that does wrap up our show for this week. We've actually run on time, which is lovely, even a few minutes early. You can have an early minute today, class. But I want to thank, for what has been a mostly light-hearted show, I want to thank Lewis T-Ball-Gratz, Terry Badger O'Neill for being here on the desk with me, and shout out to Stephen Cyanide Sams, who's out the back, although he goes by Stephen Sams AU on Twitter now. In production, as always, doing a massive job. Thank you, Lewis, for your work on those pieces as well. It was great to get some video content in this week instead of just staring at us for an hour.
Yeah.
And look, maybe next week we can have some more controversial topics, and I'll still limit myself to one contract piece to show.
You get one.
Unless it's a big week, and then we just won't be here.
Yeah, then we can just have me on a...
They're just not sassy enough.
They're just not sassy enough. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next week, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, right here on the eSports Show.